Hello, folks. Welcome back to One Human Channel. We're here in Galesburg, wonderful city of Galesburg, Illinois, and we've got two amazing people that work in our community, and I want to introduce you to them. They are organizers of a program called ROSC, R-O-S-C. So I'm going to have them just tell us what ROSC is and what it does.
Hi everyone, my name is Leanna Corson. I am the System of Care Coordinator for Bridgeway's West Central Illinois ROSC. And ROSC stands for Recovery Oriented System of Care. So we are literally a coalition of agencies, people with lived experience, government officials, law enforcement, probation, and we find the best ways to serve people that are struggling with substance use disorder. And we do social sober events, and we help people that are in recovery become the very best version of themselves.
My name is Jeff McFadden. I'm the System of Care Coordinator for Bridgeway's McDonough-Fulton County ROSC. And Leanne summed it up pretty well. We do anything and everything recovery related. We have a buddy transportation system. We get people to and from detox, inpatient. We do Narcan distribution, Narcan training, recovery speaking and advocating, and much, much more.
Wonderful. Thank you. That's a great introduction. Now, I want to know a little bit about each of you. So tell me a little bit about yourselves and how you found your way into this line of work.
Yeah, so I'm a person living in long-term recovery. I suffered from a substance use disorder from the time I was 14 till I was 24. And when I say suffer, I don't think a lot of people understand what the disease of addiction really does to your life. I was just literally surviving. I was homeless on the streets of Galesburg at one time. And all of this is due to a childhood trauma. Like, I had a great family. My dad died in a hunting accident. I couldn't process that pain. And then I got into recovery in 2014. And I got really, really passionate about it because nobody should have to live that way. Because treatment works, recovery is possible. So I do my best to reach the people with my experience to try to help them get into treatment and get the services they need to be successful in life.
Thank you, Leanne.
Well, for me, I was in 1999, I was the #1 walk-on for the Western Illinois University golf team by 17 strokes. And that's kind of when I realized I had a problem. I enjoyed partying way too much, so much that it affected my golf career or golf activities. My time at Western Illinois University, I did not graduate. Even to this day, I'm still just one credit short of my bachelor's. But I moved back to Galesburg after I was done at Western, and my use continued, and it got worse and worse. I moved on to bigger and harder substances, as a lot of us typically do. And then in 2019, I was given the opportunity of Knox County Drug Court, and I completed that program. And it saved my life. I'm extremely grateful for it. And then in September of 2021, Leanne asked me to speak at one of her recovery events, Recover Out Loud. And I spoke at the event. We had a lot of fun. We raised awareness around Galesburg. We walked up around the square and downtown, and then I spoke. And then a week later, the position was open in Macomb, and Leanne said, "Hey, I think you'd be pretty good for this." So she kind of recruited me, and it was one of the best decisions that I made, was accepting the job and moving into the recovery field.
That's wonderful. Thank you guys both for being vulnerable. It's I know it's difficult, but you guys are the creme de la creme in terms of that in our community. I mean, it takes vulnerability to make progress, and it really is a shifting our society, kind of the norms that govern the way people relate to each other. So I really do appreciate that immensely. My next question is, I think I know the answer, but I want you to share your own words about it. Like, do you love the work you do, and why?
Yes, I love the work that I do. And I'll start with working with people first. Taking people to treatment and then getting them after treatment and and watching them get their children back and watching them get jobs and watching people move into the recovery field and empowering individuals like who at one point didn't know how to live life without using drugs and alcohol literally thrive in our community. That is my favorite part, is watching the light come on in people's souls. And then I love recovery advocating because you said it, like, if we don't talk about it, who's going to, right? So we recover out loud so people don't have to suffer in silence. We want to be a beacon of hope for people. Like, that's why we're so loud about our recovery, and we speak at everything, and we go to all the community events so that people know where to go when they want help. And we do the very best that we can to make sure that they get the resources that they need. I love community partnerships. Finding other people that are passionate about helping people is really beautiful too, because now you have this beautiful tribe. Mayor, I know that you've been on our ROSC council meetings, but we normally have about 30 people on there, some agencies, some individuals with lived experience, but it's a wonderful coalition of people that love other people. And so when a group that powerful comes together to help an individual person, we're wrapping them around in services. So I absolutely love what I do. I'm not in it for the money, I'm in it for the people.
Yeah, I love that answer. Jeff, I don't think she left you very much to add on to.
She did not, but I agree 100% with what she said. In fact, just before we hopped on here, I was talking with one of my friends outside, and I told him the story about how I just wanted to have a job. So up until Leanne recruited me for this position, I was working at a known Galesburg warehouse. I was on third shift, and I had fun. I was good at my job. I enjoyed it, and I could have seen myself retiring there, putting in an additional 20 to 25 years there when this came along. And I have to admit, and I've shared this with Leanne and some of our colleagues before, I was slightly jealous of Leanne and our colleagues, even while I was at the warehouse, because I was like, wait, so they get paid money to help people find recovery and sustain recovery. And I just thought it was the coolest thing ever. So then I didn't know I would be recruited. It was just a matter of weeks later when Leanne told me I should apply for this job. And it is nothing short of a fantasy. I absolutely love it. I love every aspect of it, from trying to get someone to detox or treatment who is still sometimes under the influence, and then helping connect people with other people, people with lived experience. I mean, I find myself in meetings where, last week I was in a meeting with the chief of the Quincy Police Department. And, there was a sergeant of the Illinois State Police there. There were other professionals, substance use counselors, and everything in between, people with lived experience. And it's such an amazing thing to, be able to share a table with these people for the common goal of not only helping people in recovery, but trying to help end the stigma that surrounds substance use disorder.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. It's great. And it has come with a small addition. I've gained 20 pounds in 2 years because I'm not doing the physical labor that I used to do at the warehouse. So I have gained some pounds, but I'm happy about it.
Okay, that's great. Thank you both again for that. You had an amazing event a couple weeks ago, Generation Found, the movie, and then you had 4 panelists, and Jeff, you led the panel in I was sitting almost in the front row and just taking it all in and listening to these people, being vulnerable, but talking about the real world experiences of people in our community, and just how it can play out both in a negative way or in this case a positive way, it's so important for people to realize that there is hope for everyone, no matter how deep, how desperate it may appear to them and maybe their parents, their family, the community, society as a whole. There is hope, and you guys are the beacon of that. How can people help contribute to this process? You guys are, obviously there is limited resources to hire people full time to do this work, and you guys are doing an amazing job. But for for everybody else who wants to participate and contribute and support your efforts, how can they help?
Yeah, so the first thing is our ROSC Council Coalition meetings. That's the best way to stay up to date and get involved. So that would be number one. Also, our events, we always have awesome events. We always have really genuine speakers. We always try to have a diverse group of speakers. And we also have a lot of fun. Like if recovery's not fun, people aren't going to do it. So like our next event that's coming up in September, like there's going to be, we're starting the day with yoga, there's going to be food trucks, and like we want people to enjoy their recovery. So
Wonderful.
Get involved with our events, come to our ROSC Council meetings, and also start ending the stigma around substance use. When you see somebody that looks like they're struggling with addiction, maybe hold the door open for them, or smile at them, or tell them to have a good day. Like, I remember towards the end of my substance use disorder, people being nice to me was very rare. Like, I was shunned, I was followed around in stores. Like, that's just part of the stigma that goes with it. So just being kind to other humans.
That's a powerful message, yeah. Jeff?
We each have a Facebook page. Leanne has a West Central Illinois ROSC Facebook page. I have a McDonough Fulton County ROSC page, and we can be reached through those pages or our personal pages or our email or work phones. I mean, all the time. I do this all the time. Even when I'm at home and I'm not at work, I'm usually texting or emailing someone about recovery resources or options.
That's wonderful. I'm gonna definitely, I'll put, as the viewers will have seen, I'll put these links in this video, and they can reach out and connect. I mean, I go to as many of these ROSC online meetings as possible, and it's really powerful. Every single one. I mean, it's so well organized, and the number of people that come in. I know people come in from even outside of the area because they know this is really frontline work. You guys are really leading the pack in getting the word out and connecting dots. And that's what it's about, right? It's about making sure people know where they can be loved and where they can get the help they need and where they'll be cared for. They'll be treated like a human being. I mean, let's be this basic. It's as basic as that, right? And the stigma that you mentioned is really powerful. I remember as a young child myself, being told how bad drugs were, and anyone who did drugs was bad, and I created my own stigmas around that. But over time and education, I've grown out of that, and I've learned a lot from just interfacing with you over the last year and a half or 2 years. And so I just want to end today's video. Thank you for taking your time to be with us. Thank you for all that you do and will continue to do. I'm so proud, personally, to be in this community in large part because of people like you. You guys make this place a loving community, and that's where I want to live. Right? That's where and hopefully others will be drawn. So you guys are beacons not only for those who might be struggling with their addiction, but you're a beacon of hope for everyone, right? In terms of bringing people to Galesburg, bringing people to a new way of thinking about other human beings. And that's a powerful message. I've spoken so much, but I just want to echo what you've said, and thank you for spending time and being that beacon for everyone in our community, and not just Galesburg, right? Well beyond, right? People may see this video in other communities, and they may want to launch something like you guys are doing. So you may get too many calls after this, but let's hope that's a good thing, right? Because then we'll have more resources put to this very important problem. Any closing thoughts?
I just want to thank you for allowing us to come on here and stigma and spread our message.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. We really appreciate it. And also, like Leanne said, Recover Out Loud is the slogan for her ROSC. My slogan is Recovery is Possible. Because for me, it was important for me to see that people had recovered before me, and it gave me a lot of hope and that it was possible.
Well, those are great closing messages. You guys have a lovely day. Enjoy your weekend, and see everyone around for future videos of interviews of our amazing community members.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye. Bye-bye.